All right. Just like this red circle here, something's going to be a bit off with my talk tonight. So viewer discretion is advised. Sufferers of second-hand embarrassment. Also, if you have trypophobia, if you know what that is, I'll warn you. All right, get ready. You ready? You ready? You ready? There you go. No? Nothing? Okay. All right, it's a bit off, isn't it? It just makes you feel a little bit weird, a little bit, just, and then this, oh, yep, no, that's some bad video compression there. All right, trypophobics, watch out. Anyone who's a little bit squeamish, this one's next, all right? In 2005, I saw this image, and I thought something was a little bit off. It made my skin crawl, and I hated it. Here you go. It's a lotus pod. Somebody's photoshopped onto the palm of their hand, right? And it made me feel squeamish. It's okay, you're safe, by the way. It made me feel so squeamish. It made my skin crawl, and the first time I saw it, I had nightmares for 3 days. That was just all up in my mind. And then I looked into it because I knew something was off about it. And I found out about the fact that it's photoshopped. It's a lotus pod. It's not some crazy disease that you're likely to get when an insect crawls in your hand or something like that. No, it's a lotus pod. That's it. It's all right, you're safe. You're safe. All right. So everything that gets really close to being kind of normal, something you'd expect, but not quite spot on. You get this effect where the closer it is to being realistic, or the closer it is to being likely, or the closer it is to being, I don't know, real, the more it makes you feel a little bit weird until all of a sudden we snap up into, for example, on this one, a photo, and you feel okay. But that Polar Express guy, that guy terrified me. All right. Yeah. So this is the uncanny valley for anybody who hasn't ever seen the expression. With things like animation, and it works in a lot of different things, like humanoid robots, things that are getting really close to being real and normal and a real human. The things that are so close but not quite there, it makes you feel a little bit weird. A little bit. No, I don't like that. No, please, no. Right. So, all right. So, like this talk, and I'm sure a lot of you are squirming in your seats. Have a read of this. Have a read of this. All right. It's from John 1. You all should probably know John 1. Right. In the beginning was the gospel preached through the Son. The gospel was the Word. The Word was with the Son. The Son was with God. It's not quite right. If I remember rightly from what I've read, it doesn't quite fit the feel of that verse, you know, about the Holy Trinity, that, you know, the Word and Jesus and the Father all being three entities all mixed into one and perfectly intermingled, and how they arranged the universe. And here's why. It's the Joseph Smith translation. And it makes my skin crawl. How about you? Because Joseph Smith clearly had no idea what he was talking about when he read that the Word, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. He clearly had no idea. And so when he made his Bible translation, he wrote that top one, and it makes my skin crawl. I don't like it. I don't like it. No. Romans 12. Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. We're to be, as Christians, Spirit-filled Christians, we're to use the Spirit and prove what is good and right and acceptable and part of the will of God, and not take cheap imitations, not take things that are so close but just not quite there. And when you see it, if you're in tune with the Spirit, your skin will crawl. You'll get that feeling where the hairs stand up on the back of your neck, and you'll shake your head and go, that's not quite right. Right? But if you're not in tune with the Spirit, it says here in James 1, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, right? If you're not in tune with the Spirit and you haven't got this spidey sense, this feeling of close but no cigar, this, right? If if you're not in tune with the Spirit, you'll be unstable. You'll be double-minded. If you lack the wisdom, if you don't get this feeling, and trust me, it's hard to know when you're not on the track, ask of God, and God, who gives to all men liberally and upbraideth not, it shall be given to you. All right? Matthew 10, a man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Sometimes that hair stand on the back of your neck, that skin-crawling feeling, comes from the people closest to you. When you feel something's not quite right there. And it can be any number of things. It can be that they've let their walk slide a little bit. It can be that something's not quite right in their life and that they're stressed out or any number of things. Sometimes it's the people closest to you. And if it's something offensive to the will of God, you can't sit by idly and ignore it and let it go through. Because it's those tiny things that can really break down the foundation of our assembly. Now, what was it, 4 years ago, something like that, 3.5 years ago, not putting my hand in my pocket, by the way. 3.5 years ago, I gave one of these tech talks, and I said about how you need to take ownership of your church, and ownership of this place, or wherever you land yourself, and find the issues and fix them yourself. Or if you can't fix it, find someone else who can help you fix it, or whatever it is. Your place, where you are, is exactly where you need to be. It's exactly where God's put you, if you're walking with Him. In your family, in your circle of friends, in your assembly, in your workplace, in your school, wherever it is. You're exactly where you need to be when you're walking with the Spirit. And so when things like that happen that make you just feel that it's not quite right, you have to do something about it. Is your spidey sense tingling? What are you going to do about it? All right? Now, this is my challenge to you, and it's not one that necessarily you might talk with others about unless it's something that really you don't know how to handle. But think to yourself, when things aren't quite right, what are you going to do about it? And you'll know the situations that I'm talking about when you see something that's just so close but not quite, and it gets you. What are you going to do? Thank you.